You were one of the journalists on the front lines after the BP Horizon, Deepwater Horizon oil spill took place 10 years ago. And for those who might be too young to remember or whose memories have faded, how do you put that environmental disaster into context? I mean, I mentioned that it was the biggest marine oil spill in history, but that, of course, doesn't capture everything.
Yeah, I think, it's important to say basically, we have just passed the 10-year anniversary of the start of the disaster, and that was a blowout at BP's Macondo oil well in the Gulf of Mexico that sent natural gas and oil shooting up into the Deepwater Horizon oil rig. When the natural gas hit the rig, it sparked a series of explosions that blew up the rig. It killed 11 men, and then it unleashed this torrent of oil that was released out of the ocean floor for more than 3 months' time, 200 million gallons of oil. And as you say, the largest, I say largest offshore drilling oil spill in history. And it's important to say that April 20th was the start of the disaster, 2010, but that was only the beginning. It then unleashed a cascading effect of oil, chemical dispersant impacts that impacted human health, that impacted the Gulf ecosystem, that impacted the economy of the Gulf South, and continue to have ripple effects to this day. And I think it's important to continue to discuss this as an ongoing disaster, that there have been some restoration to those impacts, but a lot of it continues to be ongoing, including the ongoing threat that it could be repeated again.
So that a big part of the issue, I understand, was federal government oversight was completely lax. The whole point of government regulation is to ensure that private businesses, private corporations follow the rules so that we don't have accidents such as this. Since the accident happened 10 years ago, has there been any improvement to federal government oversight?
Well, so I guess the first thing I would say is, so I wrote a book, Black Tide, The Devastating Impact of the Gulf Oil Spill. I specifically didn't name BP in the title because I wanted it to be clear that this was an industry-wide failure and a government failure. And yes, it was certainly an accident to the extent that nobody wanted this to happen, but it was certainly predictable and predicted that it would happen. The entire industry lied to the American public, lied